It's going to be a long night as the presidential race is still pretty close and my I voted sticker is barely hanging on. The latest figures show Governor Mitt Romney leading President Obama in the electoral vote count. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dave Morris, and you're watching live election coverage right here on NewsOK.com. And we've been speaking with our crews all over the metro and in the nation's capital via Google Hangout tonight. And we'll begin our 10 o'clock hour in Washington, D.C., and that's where we find the Oklahoman's Chris Casteel at this late hour. And Chris, with little suspense over which presidential candidate would capture Oklahoma, the question Tuesday became whether President Barack Obama could win one of the state's 77 counties. As we know, back in 2008, President Obama didn't carry a single state in Oklahoma. 4 years ago, Obama had his best showing in Cherokee County. Any counties this year?
Doesn't look like it, and that really wasn't much of a question either, really, when it came down to it, since his best showing in 2008 was actually 42%. But no, it looks like it'll be the third straight presidential election in which the Republican nominee wins every county in Oklahoma.
Well, let's move on to another question, Chris. I understand Elizabeth Warren has won the Senate seat out in Massachusetts. Warren, a Democrat raised in Oklahoma.
That's right. She's actually an Oklahoma native, grew up in Oklahoma City, graduated from high school there many years ago. She likes to say she's a grandmother now. But she's a Harvard professor now, and she defeated Republican Scott Brown, who won the Senate seat in 2010. So an Oklahoma native now holds the Senate seat that was long held by Ted Kennedy. Of course, there was some Oklahoma angle in that race this year because there's a big controversy over whether she was a Cherokee or not.
Chris Casteel from the nation's capital. We appreciate your time tonight. I know you're on deadline. We'll let you get back to it, sir.
Thanks so much, Dave.
I'm going to bring in Michael McNutt now. And Michael, one of the big stories here in Oklahoma today was the strong voter turnout, and now you're beginning to see some results come in. Let's talk about that voter turnout, Michael.
Well, the voter turnout is, we won't know for sure about later this week, and officially till a week from now when the results are certified, but it does appear that we're going to be very close to reaching the same levels of 4 years ago. The record for president, people voting in president in Oklahoma was 2004. And so we'll be close to 2008, they think. And that explains why some of these Oklahoma County and Tulsa County results, Cleveland County results are coming in so slow.
We're watching a live Google Hangout right here on NewsOK.com. I've been chatting throughout the evening with reporters from the Oklahoman, both in the Oklahoman's newsroom.
As late as 8 o'clock, a little after 8 o'clock.
And now we're back with Michael McNutt, and that's the beauty of technology and the internet, Michael, is sometimes things go amiss. But you were talking about how the voter turnout was strong today compared to the past two presidential elections, and the fact that now, as you're working towards a midnight deadline, those numbers are starting to come back in. We kind of lost some connection there. If you could recap those numbers coming back in for us.
Yeah, we're seeing some of those numbers come in mainly because people were in line to vote at 7 o'clock when the polls closed, and as long as you're in line, you'll be able to vote. So we saw some people voting as late as 8 o'clock, and then you have to take the results back to the county election board seat where they're tabulated. So it takes a while, some of these big turnouts, but I think we're going to be close to the turnout 4 years ago. In the House side, we're seeing a couple of, we have at least 3 members now who are reelected. Pat Olenby from down in Ardmore is reelected. Tom Newell over in Seminole is reelected. And both are Republicans. So, and Steve Vaughn from Ponca City is also reelected. All the incumbents, the 7 Democrats and the 16 Republican incumbents, all look like they're going to get reelected. One Republican, though, over in Norman, Representative Aaron Stiles, seems to be in a pretty tough race right now. Democrat Paula Roberts, he's behind. It's 50 to 49%, but we still lack about half those precincts.
Michael McNutt burning the midnight oil, or working towards a midnight deadline at least. He's at the Oklahoma Capitol. Michael, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're going to go to the Oklahoman's newsroom now with Rick Green. He's the local editor there. And Rick, can you give us a recap on the latest of Oklahoma's 5 congressional races?
Yeah, it looks like the state's congressional delegation will be entirely Republican. The one race that was really in play tonight was in the 2nd district, where Mark Wayne Mullen, the Republican, has won there. So it looks like an entirely Republican congressional delegation, as well as the state executive branch. and both houses of the state legislature being controlled by the GOP. And this is, for that entirety of control, the first time in state history.
And Megan Rolland also joining us from the Oklahoman's newsroom. And Megan, what are the latest figures in the state Senate?
It's a historic night for Republicans in the state Senate. They picked up 2 more seats, which had previously been held by Democrats, which will mean it'll be 36 Republicans to 12 Democrats in the Senate. And one of those seats they picked up is in a historically Democratic stronghold, a place where, there were 33,000 registered Democrats compared to 9,000 registered Republicans, and Republicans won that seat. That's District 7 down there in Haskell, Latimer, and Pittsburgh counties. So it's a historic night for Republicans picking up that seat and one other seat, it looks like, and really expanding their majority in the Senate.
Megan, also on the ballot today were 6 state questions. When we spoke at 8 o'clock on the Google Hangout, I was asking you, did it look like all 6 questions were going to pass? Now at the 10 o'clock hour, how does it look?
It still looks as though all 6 questions are going to pass. All of them are hanging out right around 60%, some as high as 70% voter approval. So it looks like unless something drastic happens, they're all going to be passed and those constitutional amendments will go through.
All right, Megan Rolland, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
And now I'm going to step out on a limb and go ahead and project a winner. The Thunder over the Raptors. In fact, we do have a final. Oklahoma City did beat Toronto tonight, 108-88. Angie Bruss and Kyle Roberts were at Chesapeake Energy Arena to talk to Thunder fans about the election.
Hey, it's Angie with News OK. I'm outside the Chesapeake Energy Arena. The Thunder game against the Toronto Raptors is about to start, and there are a lot of happy people about this game. But what's more important is that it's election day, and I'm here with some people who actually did vote today. Now, you wanted to vote, right?
Yes.
You're just a little too young.
Yeah.
All right, then tell me, did you vote today?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
All in reality, I just turned 18. It was my first time to vote, so I voted.
Was it exciting?
Yeah, it was. The hour and a half wait wasn't, but besides that, yeah, it was pretty fun.
I went at lunch and there was no line at all.
Normally vote every time, and kind of keep my card up.
Yeah. Were you more excited about voting today or coming to the Thunder game?
Well, probably voting because it's once every 4 years.
The Thunder. Yeah.
Yeah, the Thunder game definitely.
I'm coming to the Thunder game.
I guess as a good American citizen, I should say it's equal.
Thunder.
Looks like they're a lot of fun tonight at Chesapeake Energy Arena, and a good win for the Thunder. All right, the Oklahomans team of reporters will be bringing you all the latest information as the state and presidential races carry over into the late hours. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at NewsOKPolitics, and of course online at newsok.com, which will be updated throughout tonight. And the latest election coverage can also be found in the Oklahoman tomorrow. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us on the ballot throughout tonight. I'm Dave Morris.